His Holiness Dalai Lama, it's a pleasure to be able to ask you this question. My question is, how do we integrate inner values from kindergarten? Like, what are some of the tools that we can take as parents, as teachers, to integrate inner values in school?
Now we already working the preparing the curriculum, secular based moral principle. You see, including these things, the curriculum. The next year, you see, even we're going to have international level meeting, then Indian level. You see, we already working.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Next question.
His Holiness Dalai Lama. I have a small doubt, like when you're saying we need to promote inner values, the world is groped up with a lot of materialistic things around. So what has led to the decline of inner values, and why these materialistic values are rising in the present century?
Because the inner value. There's the education, existing education. You see, as I already mentioned, very much oriented about material value. That also, I think, about 200 years, I am not very sure, but roughly speaking, I get that kind of feeling, that kind of view. About 200 years ago, industrialization started in Europe. So till then, I think monasteries or nunnery, they carry this the seed of education. Then, regarding science and technology, for these, it is necessary to create separate education institutions. So, separate education institutions started. But at that time, I feel more balance, moral ethics concern, monastery, nunnery, they take care, more balance. Then time passes. Now we can see in America and also in many European countries, I saw big monastery. Correct? Church, yes, church. Oh, you see, the few monk, not much pay attention, public level. So therefore, previously, church take care about inner value, separate, newly developed education institution take care the other material things. Now the religious side decline. So now the education institution alone should take responsibility of both material value for these things, materialistic sort of education, these things, plus education about inner value. So now in that respect, I think, and then also you say more complicated thing now, and also I feel sometimes difficult to mention the over 3,000 years in this country, eventually different religious traditions develop. Basically two categories. One theistic religion, one non-theistic religion, and the Sangha philosophy, I think earliest 3,000 years old. Sangha philosophy, there are two groups. One theistic religion, one non-theistic religion. Then, eventually, Jain tradition, non-theistic, no God, no creator. And then later, Buddhism, also same, no creator, rather self-creation. In the West, Judeo-Christian tradition, and then also Arab this area, Islam. All these theistic religion, ultimate belief is God. So everything is in the hands of God. So pray, 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 faith towards God, sufficient. In Indian tradition, a non-theistic religion, is no creator. So everything depends on ourselves. So then training of our mind develop. Shamatha, Vipassana, you see these practice in this country, as I mentioned earlier, started. So Western civilization, very much, you see, based on, because related with theistic religion. In India, all different traditions there. Now India truly become only nation where all major world religious traditions live together. So after sort of now almost 60 years I live in this country. That brings conviction. Religious harmony is possible. This over billion populated nation, religious harmony possible. Therefore, all over the world, religious harmony very possible if we make effort. So one of my commitment is promotion of religious harmony, like that. So the culturally, the West much sort of related with concept of God, creator. In this area, you see the Kasoda. So in India, you see all these different traditions. So therefore, training of mind become very important. Okay. 그래. 그래. 좋아. So that is the obviously education very much oriented materialistic sort of oriented. So whole generation who come from that kind of education, then their whole life, way of life, materialistic life, materialistic culture. So then the whole society's way of life, in a way, little bit sort of superficial, shallow, something like shallow, only external thing. Whenever you face some problem, emotional problem, without knowing, without knowledge how to tackle these things, then face really a serious problem. So therefore, that is the, I feel, the factor. The education should include, without touching religion, a secular way. I think, firstly, I think ultimately 7 billion human beings, next generation, who come through more complete form of education, then better world certainly come. Today's sort of way of education, if this continuously go, then this century also will be repetition of previous century, killing, violence. So therefore, through some change, education, because of the field, more complete form, external thing and internal value, these strictly secular way, then non-believer also, see they, because of the, also is get sort of that kind of education. Then among the believer, theistic religion, non-theistic religion, see the secular thing, ethics, It's the same. So I feel, I convince, is it through education we can produce more compassionate generation, not only materialistic sort of as the life. That's I feel. Of course, take time. My lifetime, I will not see. But start now. Then after 20, 30 years, different generation will come. Okay, next question.
Sir, my pranams to His Holiness. Will the world become peaceful if there are no weapons made at all, and all the money spent on making weapons of destruction, mass and individual, help to promote human welfare all over the world?
Spend billions of money making weapon. And meantime, I think generally speaking, people dare to use these weapons, including nuclear weapon. Very dare to use. I think Pakistan also nuclear weapon. Here India also. But very dare to use nuclear weapon. Meantime, you see, keep these nuclear weapon useless. If you really believe nuclear weapon, then use it. There's too much danger. America also, you see, spend a lot of money for weapon, including nuclear weapon. Wasted money. So I think billions of money spent for weapon, for military purpose. I think wasteful. This is the amount of money should use for education, for for health, and also should further develop in poor country. Within this country, still you see poor people, a lot of poor people. In Bombay itself, poor people. So we should spend more money for create facility for education, health. And then this country, I think one drawback from our tradition is the caste system. That's outdated. Buddha himself, you see, made very sort of because of the stress or importance. His teaching, no sort of caste. So all are equal. So that we really need some effort. Dr. Amberger, I think wonderful. Then, in my lifetime, like I think Jagjiva Ram or something, from low caste, isn't it? I think I remember vaguely. Then he was, I think, defense minister or something. Very powerful. Come from low caste. So modern India, I think, really makes differences, but still we need, and especially religious leader, I think, should speak more. The caste system is outdated. Next question.
Sir, I would like to ask a question. I go back to education. You rightly emphasized importance of Indian tradition and its secular nature and teaching it to the kindergarten level. And sir, will you suggest some wisdom-oriented teaching at the educational institutions? Because philosophy in India has always seen the synthesis between knowledge and wisdom. And what we are pursuing presently in our educational systems, if you agree, sir, with the education knowledge-oriented, information-oriented, and as you rightly said, materialistic, is the shift required towards wisdom and spirituality? Spirituality will be rather loaded word, and therefore I'm constraining myself to wisdom. And will you recommend, sir, such courses introduced academically? You just indicated in your lecture. Since this is the very educational hub and it is very seriously thinking about the educational policies, and we are into making young generations very sensitive. Sir, will you suggest a way out where by means of some optional wisdom oriented courses can be introduced across the disciplines? Thank you, sir.
I think, as I already mentioned, the hygiene of physical. Similarly, we need hygiene of emotion. We always see some people, modern education, highly sort of educated, but very rich, maybe very powerful, but mentally not necessarily happy. Too much stress. So these things, you see, you cannot sort of, because of the go to shopping area and shout, I want to buy peace of mind. I think the shopkeeper feel, oh, that person is something wrong. So obviously everybody knows. You see, the emotion also, you see, sometimes create a lot of problem. So the hygiene of physical is, you see, in order to, it's not just mere knowledge, but in order to healthy body, hygiene of physical, there. So similarly, the peaceful mind, or the healthy mind, you need not just a prayer. I think we human beings on this planet, I think always pray, 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 pray. We Tibetan also, you see, we pray through centuries, but sometimes not because of the meaningful result come. I think human action, human effort becoming more sort of effective rather than prayer. So therefore, I think education, I feel, just the simple word, hygiene of emotion. Okay. The next question?
Your Holiness, right here.
Yes.
You speak of the concept of Maitri or Metta.
Uh-huh.
Maitri and Karuna is actually compassion in action. It translates as whatever feelings we have of compassion, they have to have a way to translate into specific deeds. You spoke of Marxism, you spoke of socialism, and so forth. In the West, traditionally, when we speak of Maitri, we talk about a state of mind.
That's right.
Can you explain that the state of mind must be actualized as deeds of humanity, as actions that we do with one another? They cannot remain only within, because the within doesn't exist unless it's manifests also in the without.
Real effect come from karma. Karma means action. There are physical action, physical karma, physical level, verbal level, mental level. So superior is the mental level. Obviously, more effective sort of physical action, verbal action related with motivation. So ultimately, motivation should be more compassionate, loving kindness, then physical action, verbal action become more peaceful. Here, there's a lot of anger, then a nice word, not, now here you see ahimsa, or violence and non-violence, ultimate demarcation is motivation level. Physically, smile, and even give some gift. Motivation level, try to cheat that person. It's actually violence. Then kind parent, the naughty children, sometimes a little bit harsh word and harsh action. The physical level appears non-violent, because of violence, but because of motivation, fully taking care about the child's future, out of kindness, and use a little bit harsh word. That actually, you see, non-violence. So violence and non-violence ultimately related with the motivation, not appearances. I think we can easily understand artificial smile. Do you think genuine smile? I think sometimes artificial smile brings more suspicion. And a diplomatic smile also. The genuine smile must come through loving kindness. I think animal, even some dogs, I think make some sort of distinction, artificial kindness and feeding something. Some birds feeding something in order to catch. So some birds, they know their motivation is to catch. So even animal, some extent, they know artificial kindness or genuine kindness. So ultimately, motivation is the key factor.
Person will wait for many, many, many years, try again and again and again for dialogue. The other person will not come for the dialogue. And as you spoke about the importance of dialogue, what is your recommendation of how to go about peace when often the person who is proposing the dialogue, it is for the interest of all, and the person who will not dialogue, this is the question. What is your recommendation?
In principle, as I mentioned earlier, whenever we face some problem, you see, instead of fighting or sort of use simple weapon is because of the fist. Or when I was young, sometimes I fight with my elder brother. At that time, my weapon is my needle. Like that. So, so basically, you see, any problem, you see, have to solve through talk. If mad dog come, then no possibility to dialogue. Only use some rock, like that. Otherwise, see, no way. So you see, these, you see, I think in principle, certain things. In detail, practical level, you have to judge the actual circumstances. You see, in Buddhist tradition, Vinaya, killing, lying, these are totally banned. Then Bodhisattvayana sort of rule, in order to save, you see, life of a majority, kill one person. Is it right? Mentioned like that. Buddha's own story. One occasion, so out of 1,000 merchant, one person thinking to kill more than 900 people to kill. All the possess he want to keep by himself. Then the Buddha's previous life warned several times, don't do that, don't do that. but he never sort of listened, he never dropped his effort. So then finally, that Buddha's reincarnation, previous life, judge more than 900 people's life and compare one individual life, 900, more important. Then, furthermore, if he let that individual's life, eventually that person get this, because of the sinful action, killing more than 900 people. So in order to save that, so Buddha decided to kill that person. You see, firstly, you see, save more than 900 people's life. And then second, and that person save, protect from kasachuti, commit sin. More than 900 people killed, sin. Protect that. And Buddha himself, Buddha's previous life, he sacrificed killing one person himself in order to bring a larger benefit to the people and that supposed to the killer himself. So all, you see, have to judge pros and cons and on the actual circumstances. So therefore, the broad line, some principle, we have to think that principle. And then at practical level, we have to use our common sense and long-run interest and wider perspective. Destructive emotion only see small area, cannot see too much emotion, too much anger, too much attachment. You cannot see the whole picture. Calm mind and analyze the situation holistic way. Then through not only one dimension, but 3 dimension or 4 dimension, like that. Then you can see the reality. With fuller knowledge about reality, then your action becomes more realistic action. Emotion is the greatest obstacle to analyze the reality. Emotion very much biased. When we take investigation, our mind should be unbiased. Then analyze, look from various angles. Like that. Okay?